Big 12 Sound Roundup.
Check 1, 2.
The best bites, cheap shots, and excuses from Saturday's postgame news conferences.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It is First and 12, season number 2, and it's a good one because Utah and BYU back in the same conference for the first time. And I don't know, what was the actual year? I hadn't even thought about this week, Mitch. Of all this talk we've been going back and forth, when was the last time these two teams were in the same conference in the same season?
2010, Mountain West.
Oh man, it's been a long time. It's good to have them all back again in our Sound Roundup. Of course, we're going to feature heavily teams here in the state because they both played this weekend. And while neither of them had their first conference games yet, and they haven't played each other, obviously, they both had FCS opponents. Kyle Whittingham, of course, first fired things up, talking about his quarterback, Cam Rising. And Cam, man, he looked good, and he fired things off. And Whitt, of course, loves having his leader back.
It was good to see him moving quick and being able to cut and do his thing, but a little too much contact tonight. Try to reinforce that more if we possibly can, but he's so competitive, and that's just his nature. Little more contact than we would have liked. How about that? I think it's the Cam of old. I mean, he, at least tonight, he was sharp. 67%, what was it, 10 of 15, 10 of 14, so 70% completion percentage, somewhere in there, close to it. A bunch of touchdowns, five touchdown passes. Didn't miss many throws. There's a couple he missed, but not many. Yeah, sliding's a good idea. Step out of bounds if it's in the vicinity. Just try to avoid those direct shots. You don't want to take those shots, and we'll watch the film, and there was probably 2 or 3 times where he could have done a little better job of getting out of harm's way.
Mitch, obviously, Coach loves having Cam Rising back, and I mean, you have a 5-touchdown pass performance in the first half. You don't even have to play in the second half. That's exactly how you wanted this thing to play out if you're Cam Rising and Coach Whitt having your big leader back.
And he gets maybe even better. He gets out healthy, and he's fine. He's ready to go for week 2 because that's what you wanted. You wanted to see Cam Rising back out there making plays and looking like his old self. Cam Rising's not the prototypical NFL measurables guy, but he's a dang good college quarterback, and he's a guy that's won at a high level for Utah, and the impact his presence for that Utah team, it is just noticeable. I mean, there were not many stretches last year at any point with the Utah offense and all the quarterbacks they had to trot out where it was that explosive. And some of those faces that you saw, the skill positions were similar, but it just changes their fortunes having Cam Rising. He is critical to them. And, if he went out, that changes the complete outlook on that team. But with him in, you can dream big, and they're thinking playoff and thinking Arlington for the Big 12 title, but that was a strong showing from Cam Rising after such a long layoff from coming back from a devastating injury.
Mitch, you and I shared a text a couple of nights ago when we found out that Jay Hill had had the heart procedure that he did, that there was a heart attack for a defensive coordinator the night or the 36 hours before kickoff of their first game of the season. And Jay Hill, who is also one of the healthiest dudes you'll run into, you think to yourself, man, this guy's got it all together. But, of course, it's not a perfect straight line for somebody's health. But, of course, Kalani, after the win, talking a lot about his friend Jay Hill and just how happy he was that he was back and feeling as good as he did. And of course, it was also the cherry on top to have the W for the first week of his team in taking on Southern Illinois. But this is Kalani in his first statement after the win and talking about Jay Hill, of course.
Glad we got the win. It was good to play football again, and just excited to see these guys get on the field after the off season and some of the adversity that this team's gone through. I'm really proud of the way they played this game, and it wasn't perfect, and it wasn't even our best, but there were some moments that we had some really good things going, and I think the leadership, the experience showed up, and just really proud of the team and the way we played. All 3 phases I thought it was really good. I took care of the football. There's some scary moments. I mean, other than I think if we're evaluating it, I just don't know how they do things in the review when the replay stuff. But that's for the rest. I'm biased when I thought that was a fumble, So I'm always getting. And then we were trying to get a timeout when we thought it could have been reviewed. Just didn't work out. So I probably need to get in a better position to get timeouts. I mean, I ran out of breath for no reason because they didn't give it to me until after the play was done. So, but love the way the guys played. Excited about what we can do as a team, and looking forward to the next matchup against SMU in Dallas. Just want to give a lot of praise and appreciation to all the fans that were here. They're amazing, and they brought a lot of energy. And we need them. And so just hope they know that we appreciate them and love them. And then Jay's doing great. He was in the box and was on the headset, and we're going back and forth and different calls and things like that. But he's in great spirits, and I'm glad that he's healing up, and we'll be ready to have him join us on Monday.
You can tell in that commentary from Kalani that Jay Hill means a lot to him, and that relationship between those two is very strong. And I'm sure that was probably a whirlwind when he got that call Kalani did on Thursday night from Jay Hill's wife, Sarah Hill. And, I mean, the whole Hill family, they've gone through a ton. Sarah, the wife who battled cancer, I mean, they have just experienced a lot. I'm sure that was a whirlwind for Kalani. And, we didn't talk about that much, but, I mean, Kalani took on the defensive coordinator duties, and he did a good job. And, everyone knows in this state from his time at Utah how good of a defensive coordinator Kalani can be. I mean, when Utah was building up in the Pac-12, Kalani was right there by Whitt, and it was a great showing from Kalani, and he's evolved into his role. And I think it was a big night for Kalani to kind of cool off the people that say fire Kalani crowd, because, man, that could have ratcheted it up if you had a bad showing against an FCS team. He cooled off those people a little bit with that win, too, which is a little bit of an underrated storyline as well.
Not a 20-6 Portland State 2017 start, which is good news for him. And the pressure's on. This is big boy football now, and Kalani knows it. This is not something that's lost on him. So there you go, your first Sound Roundup of the season, of course, heavily featuring the local teams here. We'll take another break here. We'll come back to hour number 2. We've got so much more to talk about with this Big 12. So many showings across the conference. Lots of stuff to still chop up here. And we'll, of course, get to a game breakdown of Utah versus Southern Utah. So many things to go. So stay right here with us. Mitch, Harper, Alex, Kirry. It's all brought to you by Macy's. Happy shopping. We'll be back. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone and KSL News Radio.